Welcome back to Sound Words, everyone. How's everyone feeling? How's everyone doing?
We're good. I'm good.
I wanted to start, obviously, my lovely co-hosts have given me the honor of hosting today. So I wanted to, throw a little span in the work. We're going to do small wins.
Oh.
So just, say a small win that you had this week. I'll start. So, obviously, for those who don't know, my dad, great man, by the way. He has a PhD and a master's, in WhatsApp University. So
WhatsApp?
obviously, yeah. So
Get out.
WhatsApp University.
I'm telling you,
literally
anything he
waited till
sends you,
your Rachel
is, anything he said, she said, come on. Anything he sends you, you have to believe it. So anyways, he sent me, apparently there's fizzy drinks. There's cow blood in fizzy drinks. So I should avoid drinking fizzy drinks. So this month, I haven't drank any fizzy drinks.
Well done, man.
Thank you, brother.
That's what you should be drinking
Well done,
fizzy
man.
drinks, period.
No cow blood in you, man. No
bad
cow
for
blood.
you, it's bad for you anyway.
Didn't you drink isn't that your fizzy drink right
Oh,
Raw, then.
that's a draw out still.
You see me though, yeah? You see me though, personally
You've
though.
been chilling around with Frank too
Personally?
much, man.
I'm not buying it.
there? Because it's literally looking at me.
Yeah, that's and she's carrying on, you know.
Literally yours.
It's because it's sponsored by Fanta.
Oh, man.
Right now.
It's sponsored by Fanta.
Is it sponsored by or did they make it? Sorry, carry on.
No, but Rachel, yeah. So that's my small win. What's your small win today?
Oh,
This week or?
Okay, someone go next. I can't think of a small win. Let me think.
My small win was that I was able to travel to another country that wasn't Nigeria for
Yo,
the first time since 15
must be nice,
years.
man. Must be
Oh,
nice.
so you've never been anywhere else apart from
No,
Nigeria?
I've been denied visas 4 times.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's
my
a big
first-
win.
Yeah, that's what Well, you know, church.
Thanks to my mum's prayer and fasting, I made it
man.
to another country. I made it back.
Ooh, that's another win.
That's another
Yeah.
one.
Innit?
Honestly,
Because they be arresting people in these places, boy.
Where'd you go?
I went to Greece. Yeah. What about you?
Greece. What's a small win for me? I put on some weight.
Do you know how much or?
About 1 kilogram, but
That's good.
that's weight because
That's weight.
I want to be a bit like Dan, you know.
Oh,
But
yeah, come on, man.
but it's not working. So
Don't gas that up.
nah, but seriously,
Yeah,
I
you see
put on
what
some
I
weight,
did?
man. I'm happy about that, man. I want to be a bit bigger because people say I look too young. And I think
That's
it's
a
good.
good thing, though.
Yeah.
It's good, but
But this is what you
I
desire.
want a bit more about me.
Yeah.
Hey, who's over there, man?
Small win. I would say I've changed my diet again, and I know you're gonna say, "Oh, wait, you just got the Fanta," but I've gone back to my coconut water, to my healthy living, my coconut water, my because I always take moringa. I'm kind of on my holistic vibe. I'm going back to my holistic vibe, so
Just quickly,
That's interesting.
what's the benefit of coconut water? Like what?
coconut water has electrolytes, so that's what actually keeps you hydrated.
Right. Okay.
Electrolytes.
Electrolytes. So it has electrolytes. Those are the things that
said
keeps
electrics.
you. That's what the things that
Okay.
keep you hydrated. Coconut water actually keeps you hydrated. I know people say water, but water doesn't hydrate you like coconut water does. When you're thirsty, and you drink coconut water, it actually quenches your thirst.
I think
that
you and
for
my
me-
dad
is
got
that because of the-
sleep in the same place?
That's something that's swing around the WhatsApp.
No, I actually was
WhatsApp
really. I was
University.
actually, no, I was actually.
Is it the
reading
minerals
No, joking, I'm
in it or
the minerals?
that give you energy?
Yeah, it's got way more minerals than. I mean, see, I don't want
Do you
to
see a benefit?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
I
then.
see a benefit in terms of your skin, your body's actually hydrated, your skin is more supple. Get me, I got babies now. Do you know what I mean? So I see those kind of benefits. When it comes to the gym, I go to the gym often as well.
Fair.
So
I might try that out.
yeah,
Because
coconut water's
I'm
amazing.
always tired.
But it's not gonna give you. It's not giving you
Energy.
Yeah, it's not giving you energy. It's keeping you hydrated. So when your body's hydrated, you're able to absorb more. You're able to absorb the things that you put in your body better.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's kind of like, when your
see.
skincare, when your skin
Yeah.
is dry, so you're not gonna.
I know what you
kind of
mean.
want to keep your body hydrated, yeah, and plump.
Okay.
Makes you look more youthful and all that stuff.
Like me.
Yeah, exactly.
like,
exactly.
yeah,
It's kinda like,
Whatever
yeah.
electrolytes
Cool.
you have, swing them over.
Nah, but cool.
Good
cool.
genes, actually. But
Guys not trying to let me horse, but it's cool. Nah, I'm joking.
Oh,
I'm joking.
please.
Anyways, like our past shows, we've been being sent dilemmas. So I'm gonna read one out and we're just gonna discuss it. Let's not try to get too heated, Yemi and Plumi.
it
Anywho,
weren't my fault, though.
I take accountability.
yeah, you lot should watch that last episode.
You know how
definitely.
they say women don't do that. I take accountability.
Guys. Anywho, so the dilemma. The person's name is Michelle.
Okay.
And she said she's one of the lead singers at her church on Sundays. However, she encountered an issue the other day when she went to service and her choir master told her that she had to sit in the congregation. This was because the choir master deemed the way that she dressed not modest enough to be a part of the choir. To him, it was too revealing and inappropriate. She argued that her dress sense doesn't stop her from worshipping God, and it shouldn't stop her from using her gifts when she believes it should be. So the question she's basically given us is dressing inappropriate? She did this, by the way, inappropriately to church disrespectful? If so, who's it disrespectful to? And what do you think God's opinion is on how she should dress?
What was she wearing, though?
No, literally.
You're trying to use a
Bro, I'm trying to be serious, lad.
seriously, what was she actually
What was she
wearing?
wearing?
Because some people...
It just says it was too revealing. So
it's something that shows
probably
skin.
some leg, some
Little low cut
cleavage,
thing there, yeah.
That's rubbish. That's rubbish.
Oh, dear.
You shouldn't be wearing those kind of. That's rubbish. I don't even know what to say.
You
about
shouldn't
it.
be wearing what?
So you think that, okay, if she was whatever she was wearing, let's say there's some cleavage showing, some leg showing, etc. She shouldn't be in the choir.
No, she's a singer, so she's in the choir. But like in terms of where do we draw the line? Like there should be a level of reverence that you should have for God that should bring some form of understanding or some form of like conviction. Thank you. Conviction that this is something that I shouldn't be wearing because it doesn't reflect well on me.
So your clothing reflects.
Yes.
Because you know what? Do you know why it does?
And how you are is how people address you.
It does reflect on you because when people go meet their partner's parents for the first time, they know how they dress. They don't wear what they're wearing down the streets. They put an outfit together. They probably wear the most modest thing because they want to be perceived in the right way. So if you want to be perceived in the right way to your partner's house or whatever, why wouldn't you also want to be perceived the right way in God's home? I think that's the main question here.
What?
No reverence for God.
Yeah. why wouldn't you?
So is it that, yeah? Because like, I'm not going to say like God didn't have a problem with it. 'Cause I don't know what she was wearing, innit? You know what I'm saying? But, like, obviously, we're looking at it now. Let's look at it now from the choir master's perspective. Like, is it that it was too distracting?
Probably. That's what he said.
Is it that he just didn't like the color scheme? Or like,
No, I
No,
think
it
it's
would have been
revealing.
definitely something too revealing.
Yeah.
So like it was definitely something showing skin,
So
and it's something inappropriate. So it's
so
something
skin
that
is inappropriate in church?
no, and like something that is like if you're voluminous and you're wearing a cleavage top, that is something that's revealing. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But it also, I feel like my thing about modesty is that this is from a woman's perspective. It's literally, it's only it's based on a woman's body type, one. And I think, for example, you could wear something as like a skinny, like a really slim girl, and it could be a low cut, whatever it is. And because nothing's really on show, because you don't really have much and stuff like that, it's calm. But if someone who's really curvaceous, very like, you know, their body's literally showing like a lot, even if they were to be wearing a shadra from head to toe, it's still showing. Once they wear something similar to what the other girl's wearing, it's inappropriate. It's too revealing and stuff like that, and that can cause a conversation to be had. My issue is that sometimes modesty is looked at as something women should be accountable for, rather than why is he looking, but where's the accountability on his part?
Because that's my thing as well. Like I assume that he's the only person that had the issue. Like the choir master, obviously he's the leader of the choir. So obviously he says who.
So of course.
So who knows? It could have been someone else that probably let him know. I'm thinking he's praying. Anywho,
I think he's
but
praying.
that's not even like the important
main.
bit of the debate. My thing is like, I get there's certain things. There may be certain things that you should or shouldn't wear to church. But if I was to flip it now, let's say to a boy, yeah, what would be appropriate for a man to wear to church? Because like I could wear a hoodie in church, but that's not deemed appropriate because I look like quote unquote a gangster. And that's not respectful to who exactly. I don't think she should. I don't think my opinion. I don't think she should have been sent away from the choir because of what she's wearing. If she's still like promoting or let's say singing and using her gifts to glorify God.
No, but the choir. The choir has rules and regulations, and if part of the rules and regulation is modest dressing, then he's in every right allowed to take her away for what he deems is modest dressing, right?
Okay, but that's an assumption because we don't know what their dress code is or whatever.
Exactly, but I'm saying that's why I said what they deem.
Her skirt might have just been above the knee, and he was just like, "Get out."
Been showing ankle.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Yeah,
like, we really don't know. And, and in all fairness, why do we care?
No, do you know what it is?
No, but
do you know what it is? It's hard. It's a bit scary to go down that lane. It is,
yeah. Okay, no, but like, I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm saying that like, she came to be part of the choir because she's using her gifts.
Yeah.
But her dress sense, what she decides to wear, has now prevented her from using her gifts.
Yeah.
Which is what I kind of like.
You came to school to learn. But your uniform is not kept and you're not following the dress code, so you got to go home.
Okay, but in school, I remember like going off that example, I remember there's certain girls that they weren't allowed boys, they weren't allowed certain hairstyles.
Yeah.
So they have to go home.
They did.
I think his point here.
But that was clearly outrageous. No, but this is not like modesty in the church isn't outrageous.
Hold on. I think his point there is how does my hairstyle, let's going back to the school example, how does my outrageous hairstyle, as you put it, affect my learning now?
Yeah, but we're saying that's clearly. We're saying hairstyle is outrageous.
It's the point of what does my parents do with what I've come to do?
Yeah, but we're talking. I think this is the beauty about CNS for me, is because it doesn't allow you to look at that because everybody is wearing all white and everyone's the same because we don't want this conversation to be had, basically. But I think, obviously, outrageous. I think hairstyles and schools policing hairstyles is outrageous because at the end of the day, that's your hair. Do you know what I mean? But anything that can be controlled, the length of your skirt, how short your tie is, the shirt that you're wearing. Those are the things that can be policed because they're things that can be altered and changed, and they have a regulation that follows it. Therefore, if you're outside that regulation or you're a bit rebellious towards it, you will be sanctioned. That's literally how it works.
I get the school example was just based off that point that you just made. Yeah, if we go back to this situation, like, why does her appearance halt her from doing?
Do you know what? It's so hard because like, I'm on the defense of what Palumi's saying. That's why I said initially it's rubbish. But then as more we speak about it, the more I'm kind of conflicted because yes, we don't know exactly what she was wearing. But like, the reason why I'm conflicted is because I'm trying to put this into perspective of what God thinks. And based on what I've read, I don't know everything. So you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But like, based on things that I've seen, it's like, don't be too concerned about your outwardly appearance, but be concerned about the contents of your heart.
Exactly.
And then you've got another one where it talks about modesty is not just you basically covering yourself, but it's also carrying yourself with grace. It's also the character. So I think trying to put things into God's perspective, because I know we're talking about like what we are perceiving this situation, this to be based on our opinions, but putting it in a God perspective, I'm not saying God is necessarily on Dan's side, but I think God is more so in a stance of, I'm looking more at the contents of your heart as opposed to your outwardly appearance. However, I do think that when you come into Christ, there should be a transformation process that reflects that. So the work that Christ is doing in you should reflect outwardly. So you should naturally not want to show too much skin if you're someone who has shown too much skin.
But like, what does I agree with your point in terms of like it shouldn't, like, your outwardly self shouldn't, like, your outwardly self obviously isn't important, quote unquote, but it's what's inside that's most important, right? I understand that. However, yeah, and you got to remember, the question is dressing inappropriately to church disrespectful? Disrespectful to who? Because
God.
because God, no,
I
yeah,
assume.
exactly.
Is that what she's asking? To God?
Yeah, and she
It is
said, is dressing inappropriately to church disrespectful, and disrespectful to who? Because I don't think she's disrespected the choir master. I don't think the choir. I don't
She's
think
gonna
it's.
sanction her.
Now, do you know what it is? Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, in terms of like, cool, she's dressed up however she's dressed up, yeah, and she's come to church to be a part of the choir.
yeah.
My whole point is, why can't she do that role because of what she's wearing?
Do you know what it is? Yeah, there's a thing that as humans, yeah, on a human level, that we often like to do. Yeah, we like to say, God will think like this, so you can't do this. Whereas sometimes, because God is not in the box, he might just be like, yeah, whatever you lot are saying,
That's not what I mean.
that's not how I meant it, kind of thing,
yeah.
if that makes sense. And I'm going to go out on a little whim here, if that's the English,
yeah.
that she wanted to be in the choir, right? So she came to church dressed in a certain way. So I don't think she came in batty riders and crop top.
Let's say for the sake of the story, she did.
Yeah, but and then say I want to be in the choir, then I'm sorry, that's a little bit delusional.
But then that means
No, because
wait.
the choir, yeah, is usually choirs, yeah,
They're
and
at
church
the
setup,
forefront,
they're at
yeah,
the front.
front,
People
yeah.
are looking at you.
Yeah.
Now, actually, to be honest, yeah, in this day and age, I wouldn't be too surprised because
That's what I'm saying, though.
yeah,
Like, people's
Because
dress
if that's
sense,
the case,
Okay,
you're
yeah.
basically insinuating. Sorry for me. If that's the case, you're basically insinuating that the choir master is just hating on her. Because why else would he
No, but
not allow her to
I'm
do
not
it
saying
if
that.
it's
I'm not saying
no,
that.
no,
Hating.
not just hating on her, but like I said, you know, sometimes, yeah, especially when you've got a little position of power,
Yeah, people
Yeah.
like to abuse it.
like.
But let's
You-
say
you
she
might
did.
just say-
No, but let's say she did dress that way.
Batty riders
Let's
and
look at
crop top.
Batty Riders is a stretch. But let's say
delusional.
she
Okay, wait,
let's say
okay.
okay, like let's say the
Delusional.
choir dressing is long pencil skirt with like chiffon top, like a shirt or whatever it is. Yeah, chiffon just means like loose.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
we-
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Sounds like-
I was
Sorry.
confused.
Like a shirt, and let's say the shirt like has a V-neck, and everyone in the choir that has decided to pin it up, but she's not pinned it up. She's let it go, and she's wore mini skirt and not a pencil skirt. That is inappropriate dressing. You will get sanctioned for that. Go home. Because what did you expect?
I don't think she needs to go home.
No.
but
I'm not
maybe she
saying
needs
go
to
home. I'm not saying go. I'm saying
But
that
she
in terms
can't
of you
lead.
can't be in the choir.
She's a lead singer. you
Yeah,
said.
yeah,
she's
you
a
can't
lead
be
singer.
in the choir. You can't be in the
can't lead, you
choir.
can't
That's
lead.
just
You gotta
not
stand
how
out,
it
man.
works.
I'm
Even
joking.
and that's no, but this is.
Yeah,
I
he's not
think
joking, by the way.
I think this is the confusion, especially in choir, because obviously I'm speaking from someone who is in the choir and has grown up in the choir majority of my life. We have uniforms. Even before we went in CNS, when I was in Redeem, we had uniforms because the choir master didn't want anyone to be interpreting what Modesty was.
Yeah.
He wanted everyone to be looking the same. You wear this uniform. You even go. Let's take it so far and wear a robe. So nothing is showing. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because we want people to pay attention to what you're ministering, to the music, and not to you. And the fact that she's drawing attention to herself in that way, the choir master doesn't like it. And that's why he says you can be in the church to worship with everyone else, but you can't be
And
Won't
also,
she
I
still-
think questions.
Won't she still draw
guys,
attention?
I have
I'm
my hand
joking.
up first. I
Go on.
promise.
Sorry, host. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm the host. I got the iPad.
sorry.
You said something about like drawing attention, and that's where I kind of wanted to segue to. Yeah, like my thing is okay, cool. And we're all human beings. Like we understand that there's certain clothing or certain items that will gain attention. My thing is in the house of the Lord. Yeah. Why are we focusing? I get it, and I can't lie. I'm being an advocate here because obviously I understand that there's certain things that you shouldn't wear.
Yeah, but you understand her view too.
However, my thing is, isn't it then on the people who are being distracted in the house
I
of the
agree.
Lord? Yeah. Watching this lady who's dressed up however so, or isn't it now on them?
I agree, which is why I said modesty. What my beginning point was that I feel like modesty sometimes is put as a burden on the women to prioritize what they look like, rather than on the man to prioritize what they are looking at. And I saw someone's take on this, saying there was a uproar that you can't wear leggings to church, and people said, oh, it sticks onto you, it shows your body too much, and that was a problem. Sorry, as somebody who loves, sometimes I live in leggings, I don't see myself dressing inappropriately wearing leggings. And people are saying, oh yeah, some people even go as far as saying, oh, I look towards my gym clothes because I don't want to wear my gym clothes to the gym because I'm allowing someone else to lust on me. That's you taking responsibility of somebody else's lust and taking it upon yourself. Isn't that something that he or she should be dealing with? Do you know what I'm trying to say? But at the same breath, you still need to know what you're wearing. Like, I think there's accountability is not it's not like a seesaw. It's both parties need to be able to understand where they're going wrong. She needs to be able to be understanding that if you dress inappropriately to church, it's not something that and at the same time, the choir master, he needs to also understand that it's the way he views her. But if she's actually outside the dress code, she's allowed to be, I don't want to say sanctioned, but she's allowed to be
dismissed.
Told. Yeah, she's allowed to be told off.
I think it depends about the condition of your heart, in my personal opinion. I think, like, I just see it as, if you're someone who has reverence for God and you are coming to a place of worship, to lead, to serve, there is a way that you would carry yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to go to work. Like, you've used various different examples. You're not going to go to work in a miniskirt because HR will be on your
That's
ass.
what I mean. Like,
So,
we're forgetting there's regulations in other places that we go to.
So I feel like we need to come to a place where people need to stop thinking that because God is merciful and He's graceful and He gives us grace and He gives us, passes and He forgives sins, that means I can just do anyhow because His grace abounds. That's what the scripture said. Can you still be in sin and expect grace to abound? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So like, the way she's dressing is sinning.
It's not. I'm not saying that it's sinning, but I'm saying she's the condition of her
just
heart. Well, from what I've read about modesty biblically, and modesty doesn't even have much to do about what you're actually wearing, but the contents of your heart. And that's why I'm saying, look at the condition of her heart, because the way you dress reflects the way you think of yourself. Like, if you feel like you need to dress prerogative, is because you probably don't view yourself as how you should view yourself.
You don't view yourself as a temple.
Not even that, but you probably just feel like, in order to be quote unquote sexy or to be deemed as desirable, I need to show more. Okay. As opposed to seeing that the more I cover up, the more valuable I come out. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think there's also a time and a place.
So that's why I said that the condition of her heart is what we need to, in my personal opinion, is what we need to look at, because her heart just seems like her priorities are not in the right place.
But she said, and I'm not saying this, she said, she said that, like, she wanted to come and still use her gifts. So why has her dress sense has stopped her?
Then there's a problem, because then she's either not paying attention to the rules and regulations. Like, there's order in heaven, so there should be order on earth. Number one. And she's clearly not paying attention to the policies that are set by the church. Now, she hasn't said that this is a new church. So so this is not somewhere that she's just coming to. This is somewhere that she's been going to. Yeah. So how do you not know what is required of you as a lead singer? You're not a new singer, you're a lead singer in the church, meaning that you have gone through various different processes. I know in Redeemed churches they like to go through various different processes. I know some people even do auditions and all of that.
Facts.
All of that.
Like, it's not.
So there's a process that you've gone under, and you still thought that you was big enough over that process. That's why you felt to dress up. And that's why I said the condition of her heart. She probably felt like, because I'm a lead singer and I'm that girl, they need me.
Okay, so you're saying she's got a little bit of pride under the bonnet there.
I can see where you can angle it like that. Now I want to flip it now, yeah? Cool. Like, so let's say I'm gonna go back to the male dress sense, yeah?
Yes.
Let's say the leader of the church, he's come one day and his trousers are sagging, and he's got his hoodie over his head.
The leader.
The leader of the church is sagging.
Maybe his house
But
burned
hey,
down.
do you know what it is? Wait, let Dan finish. Let Dan finish. Go on, Dan.
But
His
yeah,
house
he's
burned down.
sagging. He's got his hoodie over his head, but he's
looking
still
like a
giving
GM.
sermon. He's still doing. He's still leading on the prayers, etc. He's still doing all the things he needs to do, but the way he's dressed just doesn't sit right with obviously us.
Okay, can
Hey,
you go
but-
to someone's house, yeah? Can you go to someone's house? Their house is a mess. And sit down on their chair. Even though
I
you
can.
know that they're clean.
I can. Hey, but
no,
me
I'm talking-
personally,
I'm
wait,
talking
wait,
about
wait.
A mess. I'm talking about a mess. As in,
Yeah, I
like,
can.
you go to
I can. I
someone's
promise
house,
you.
And they
Dan,
got
Sit
rats,
down.
and you will sit down on their
I'll sit
chair.
down. I'll sit
Yeah,
down.
me, you're
No,
crazy.
wait. But you asked the question. That's the type of person I am.
You sit
I'm
down.
not.
That tells me everything I need to know.
No, but like
I'm messy as well. If that's what you want to know.
Messy to rats.
I'm just not judgmental. If your house is messy, it's probably messy for a reason. But listen. Wait. Hey, I'm not being cliche, but listen.
So now we are judgmental for not wanting to sit in a dirty house.
It's judging though.
To not want to sit in a dirty house.
Can I attend
Oh
to
my
Can I
God.
attend to President Dan, please?
Yeah, thank you.
I'm so sorry for having standards.
So listen.
God.
So listen, yeah, but the pants sagging, and the maybe not the hoodie up and all that though, but the pants sagging and stuff. There's stuff that represents, innit? That represents like prison culture, apparently.
Yeah.
So that might be a questionable thing.
But the
because
house be messy is not. With rats.
if that's
So
what
that
if
means
that's
if the house was messy,
hold
you
on,
would've asked
Dan. If
reason why I
that's
say
what
that-
I
No,
promise
that's
you,
why I
I've
say
said
that.
that
if that's
enough
what
times.
if that's what she wants to get stuck on, then that's
No,
fine.
the reason why I said okay, let me use the
That's
point.
fine.
Nah.
But as I was saying, Dan,
Hold on,
yeah,
hold on.
You lot are unbelievable.
Hold on.
the pants sagging, yeah, represents a particular culture. So
Oh my God.
when you see something like that, obviously it's gonna raise certain questions. You know what I'm saying? The same
Oh,
with
so her being a batty man is
I didn't even finish, so you're still talking. But that's the same as if someone came in batty right. I said I presume she wasn't, so I don't know what's happening
Yeah,
with
but
you there.
we're saying that she
No,
is.
hold
if
on
that's
though.
what she was wearing.
Hold on. So I said I presume she wasn't wearing that. But if she was wearing that, then that's questionable because that represents a culture which is completely opposite to God culture.
And God's culture said
The
that
reason why-
cleanliness is next to holiness. So if your room and your house
I'm
is dirty,
telling you.
right?
Listen. You're getting stuck on the wrong things here, man.
Let me just justify because I'm the one that used the whole house thingy.
Bring it back home.
The reason
believe it.
why I use the whole house thing, would you stay in someone's house is because that represents the frame of mind that you're in.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm
Okay.
trying to make.
Yeah.
So like your mindset, how you are thinking in your mind is how it will present in the real world. So that's
Yeah.
why I said the conditions of her heart, what is going through her mind that she thought was okay to dress, let's say, in batty riders and shorts and still begin to receive the same level of, respect that she usually does receive. That's why I was like, okay, what's happening here? Is this pride? Is this, entitlement, delusion? What is it that she felt was okay to dress that way?
If the church has a like
Dress
Palumi
code,
was saying,
like-
like
Yeah.
a certain way
Yeah.
that you need to present yourself if you're gonna be part of the choir, then I wouldn't say he
was
acted in the wrong
wrong,
way.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's just a random Sunday, like
Get out.
just get out of my sight kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
then I
that's
think
injustice,
like,
yeah.
like
Now, that's why I said how initially you guys pitched it like the choir master's just a hater. Do you know what I mean? It's either he's just a hater or she was inappropriate and she needed to be corrected.
Yeah.
Because she got too big for her boots.
No, but I feel like some choir masters that I've dealt with, like most of them are just like, they don't really want to, when it comes to women and their modesty, like they don't really want to be the one to say it. So sometimes they might tell the other like older women in the choir to go speak to you, do you know what I mean? Or like, because you dressed it, because they don't want to be like, they don't want to be viewed as they're looking at you inappropriately. But it's like, you're evidently dressing against the dress code. Do you get it? So I feel like in my case, if I was to make that relatable, there would have been a woman that would have came to me and said, Palumi, the choir master didn't even have to say anything. They would say it to me and be like, Palumi, this is too much. And even to the extent where I remember there was a time being a fashion student, I tried to upcycle my blazer. Like literally put some art stuff on it, like, and put I used to have like stamps and like clips all over my blazer stuff, and I got sent home. They were like, Like, go take that off, literally. And they just said, do you not? The question my head teacher said to me is, we have a code of conduct. You went against the code of conduct.
Yeah.
You can't allow, because if we allow you, that gives a message to the school that we can allow everyone to, upcycle. And that's that's what we need to address here, is that he could have been harsh, but the harshness will show that there is order that to be followed. And so sorry, if she was the scapegoat, maybe Marianne dressed appropriately last week because she didn't say anything. Do you get it? Tough luck, but you got to affirm it. You've got to affirm it.
I get you, and I get you in the sense of obviously order.
Yeah.
You made a good point about that earlier, about like there's order in heaven, so there's order on earth. But my thing is, obviously, you keep mentioning this word modesty as well. Like, so if I'm not modest, am I sinning?
No. That's not what we're saying.
I think the right question is.
I'm not saying that's what you're saying.
But Rachel had a good point about that. She said, "Modest." This is another question I wanted to say.
What does modesty look like?
Modesty is it like a heart posture?
Yeah, it's a heart posture.
It's like it's the way it's a character. It's the way you present yourself. It's the things you do. I remember there was I don't know if anyone watches The Chosen here. And
no.
You guys should watch The Chosen.
No.
I haven't even watched it myself.
Oh my god, this is not promo, but The Chosen, it helped me helped me understand Jesus' ministry so well.
Oh no, I haven't watched it. You know, I
haven't gotten to it yet. I don't think.
I thought you were saying The Crown.
No, The Chosen. Yes, that's good. And I remember
is it free? Sorry.
Yeah. And they have an app. They have an actual app.
They have an app.
Yeah, and it's free.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's really, really good. And there was a part when Jesus, when Jesus went to the well and met a woman, and when he met the woman, and long story short, he basically said, "No, you don't have one husband, you have 5," and basically
that was shame.
I don't think in that sense it was anything to do with her dressing, but I think it's the character that she had, that she wasn't, she was just to everybody. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's not that you're sinning by dressing inappropriately. No, you're not. I'm not the one to say it, but I don't think you're sinning. But I think you need to carry yourself the way you want to be presented. You go to a meeting wearing a suit and tie for a reason. There are dress codes for certain places. You don't go to a birthday meal with a suit and tie. Do you get it? So why are you feeling like it's acceptable to dress inappropriately to where God's house? Even when we go camp, they literally say, don't wear certain stuff because that's what you are. Do you get it? Go wear that in the gym. That's gym wear.
I got a spanner.
Do you get what I mean?
I got a spanner.
Go on, throw it.
So what generation are we in? Gen Alpha. Gen
Alpha.
I just know we're in the 21st century. That's all I know.
You know how them man. You know how them man, they're all about like, it's not body positivity, it's something else.
That is the word though. Like free, like
be free as you want to be free.
Body
you know
positivity.
what I'm saying? So
be you.
Yeah, be you as you want to be
Express yourself.
All of that malarkey.
Express yourself.
Rubbish.
So
go on.
Let's say Michelle is the Gen Alpha now, or one of the Gen Alpha people. Yeah, she's come to be her as she's her. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's God's stance on that? Like, is that like, do we shut that down? Do we like say no? You've got to come as you want to be. God
presented. God is not gonna. Yeah, no. God is not. Not speaking for God, but I don't think he's attacking. When you're bringing people to Christ, the first thing, which is what I think New Age Christians do, is that we attack their appearance. Like, oh, you need to change how you are. You need to do. No, that comes, like Rachel says, over time. Do you get what I'm trying to say? We're not here to attack your dressing. We're not here to attack how you look. We simply just want to bring you to Christ. However, when you are serving, she's in service. Like when you are serving in the church, there's rules. Do you know what I mean? There's rules and regulations. There's what the ushers wear. There's what the media wear. Do you know what I mean? Like we're not trying to bring rules for the congregation and apply the same rules for people who are in service and ministry. It's not the same thing. In service and ministry, there's things you can't do. And also, those are the rules that you learn over time. Even if you are Gen Alpha, let's catch you up. Basically, do you get what I mean? These are the rules you need to learn. This is how you operate in church. If you don't like it, that's fine. You can sit in the congregation, but in this service, in this what you're doing, this is how it operates.
And
Well,
also,
Rachel.
I think again, I keep pondering on this heart posture thing, because the transformation process that happens is when you have been renewed. You need to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So you've come into, to be honest with you, I don't think God cares too much about what you're wearing or what people wear.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think he cares, but not like, oh my God, because you're not wearing what you should be wearing, get out. No. However, I think you come as you are, yes. However, you are not supposed to remain the same. And I feel like that's the problem here. It seems like she's been in service for a while.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, based on the fact that she's a lead singer, you don't just become a lead singer.
You don't.
You've been trained.
That's
you know
experience.
What I mean? You've been trained. You know what I mean? You have to have experience with leading praise and worship and constant whatever. So she has been in service for a while. There should be a transformation process that she should have undergone that would change her perspective, her mindset, and her heart posture towards God. If the transformation process hasn't happened, I question your relationship with Christ, because you should be changed.
And
the way you are yesterday, you shouldn't be still be a baby.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
How long
I
do you
agree
wanna
with
be
you.
a baby and still
I
taking
agree
milk?
with you, Rachel.
You don't
But
wanna
at the
have
same
solids.
time, I don't think the Christian walk is linear. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I feel like you are gonna fall. You are gonna fall short. And there's gonna be sometimes maybe she's indulged. Maybe she was in her Christian walk and she was transforming, changing, and she indulged too much on social media. And like Yemi said, she indulged too much on body positivity and thought, yeah, I can dress how I want. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I don't think the choir master overreacted, because if you're somebody that has been in the church for a while, that change of character you need to know, like, let's put it in the books, like, this can't run here, basically. And if she was new, there would have been a warning, because there would have been grace, but she's not new, so you should know better, and therefore you require that type of sanction.
No, fair enough. Like her last question as well,
Michelle,
I think
do
we're touching
better,
on
man.
it now, is like, what do you think God's opinion will be on how she dresses?
That's
and
between
me
her.
personally, I think is what you were saying earlier. It's not like necessarily on like what she wears, is what her heart reflects on what she's thinking.
Yeah.
And I do get the point of like, okay, like there's certain places that you would go and you'll dress a certain way. So like, it sounds like she's dressing to go to Afro Nation or whatever.
Going out.
And that's
Like,
wild.
No, I understand that. My whole thing was, I don't disagree with you guys. I want to put that out there for you guys and the people back home.
Yeah.
My whole thing was, I don't think she should have been dismissed from choir because of her dress sense. However, I do also think, like, also in the Bible, in 1 Timothy, it says that Paul actually tells women to dress modestly and to dress nice and to dress appropriately. So obviously she knows what that means, and she knows that obviously there's certain ways that you should uphold yourself and bring yourself to Christ, etc.
Yeah.
I just don't agree with how that choir master dealt with the
Enough
situation.
times when I
think
don't-
there's different ways you could deal with that.
There'll be times when I forget my socks, or like I forget my PE socks, or I forget my PE top, and they tell me, if you can't find that in lost property, sit down still. I'm not gonna, like, I can't cry and beg because that was the uniforms.
Yeah.
There's times when I've come I've come to like a Rounders game, and they're like, why wouldn't you bring your PE kit to the Rounders game? And I've literally genuinely just forgot that I had a Rounders game. I can't now expect to go and play the Rounders game because I've been training with them for time.
But that's
Do you
because,
get what I'm trying to say? Like, that's
because
now
school
me
has
being
order.
prideful.
I feel like this Michelle girl should be smart enough as well to know that, okay, there should be order in church, which means that there should be at least a rule or dress it. You even mentioned the fact about camp, and like they make it a rule, they make it known to attenders or attendees, whatever the English is, that okay, there's certain things you shouldn't wear. So as long as there's actual order in this service, which is why I also enjoy CNS, because there's order. We all wear the same thing.
We pride
all look
ourselves
the
on that,
same.
yeah.
Even women, they have to cover their hair with the filler,
With the filler,
call it. Like, so there's order. There's nothing like this can happen in TNS. Whereas like in
Even
other,
if you
It can.
you can. 'Cause-
I mean,
No, but if you sew if you sew like Ashadura that's too see-through, they'll let you know to you. If they show Ashadura that's too low, they'll let it know to
Or
you.
you've cut the V there.
Yeah, like they'll let you know.
I've seen
They'll let
that
you
though.
know. They will let you know, and that's
so.
and they will let you know, and you're part of the congregation. Talk about being part of the choir. You can't like that's not the same.
Personally, from what I've seen in the word, I think God doesn't necessarily care about what you're wearing too tough.
I agree with Rachel.
Yeah.
However, when you do come into Christ, there should be a transformation process happening in your life that makes you now look different to how you used to look. So you shouldn't be doing things that you were doing before because you've undergone a transformation process.
Yeah.
And that should look like, for Michelle, someone who naturally just doesn't want to dress the way she used to dress or dress however. I don't even know how she was dressing, but clearly it was inappropriate. Also, I would probably say, Michelle, you need to look at the contents of your heart. Why do you feel like you want to wear that? Do you know what I mean? And you can ask yourself questions like Paul tells us all the time, hold every thought captive and submit it under the authority of our Lord Jesus Christ. So ask yourself, why do you have the desire to dress this way? If it's really, do you know what I mean? Look, you question these things, ask these things, and
It's true. Yeah. It is your heart. At the end of the day, it is your heart. Even Solomon in the Bible said that always guide your heart. And that's the most important thing. Exactly.
Okay.
Everything flows from it.
Yeah.
Your mind, your soul, everything.
Yeah.
But no, good discussion.
Yeah.
Michelle.
Good luck to you, boy.
Take care.
Work on getting back to that choir.
Honestly.
don't worry, Jesus still
That's
loves
not
you.
nice.
Hey, don't forget though. I love Jesus. I love Jesus.
You're getting these songs.
He's my
friend.
Hey,
He's my friend. He will never leave me. He will never
I quite remember,
leave
so I'm
me.
just hype man.
No.
Hey, Michelle will sing this in the choir.
No.
Or in the back of the
On the
service.
back.
Remember, guys, like, comment, subscribe, send us
Facts.
your dilemmas. Love you lots.
Out.